Starting in the name of Allah, the most merciful, mighty, and gracious to all. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and welcome to the class of management. Students, today we are going to discuss the 15th lecture of the course, and this lecture is about human resource management. It doesn't mean that we are going to start the human resource management course. Actually, our main intentions are that we are going to discuss the functions of management. In the last series of lectures, if you remember, we discussed first the nature of management and the surroundings environment of management. And then we start the first initial function, that was planning function. With planning, we started clear the decision making process, clear that how managers do decisions inside the organization, because management, planning and decision making, that clear both goes parallel. Then upon completion of the first function, planning, we started that the second function of the management, that was organizing. Then we discussed the different aspects of organizing. Now today we are going to start the next function, that is the staffing function. Staffing function, it is a component of human resource management. Actually, staffing function is a specialized task, activity, job clear of a management, and that management is known as your human resource management. So in this lecture we will discuss the various functions of human resource management in detail. Like we have the management department, we have the marketing department, we also have the finance department, we have quality control department. So same is the case that inside the organization we have the human resource management department. Now in this lecture we will discuss the different aspects of human resource management, and then directly we will explain the different functions of human resource management. Here we are going to discuss the importance of human resource management. We will discuss that what HRM process is, or how HRM, for example, management works. Then we will discuss managing human resources through the various functions of human resource management. Now let's start from the first, human resource management, that what it management is. If you focus on the word human resource and management, it means that HRM, it is a sub-part, a sub-management clear of management. Simply stated, we can say that human resource management is a part of your management. When we are talking about management, so management clear, it has a general scope, has a wide scope. But when we are talking about the human resource management, so human resource management, it is one of the management which is only concerned with your human resources. And when we are talking about human resources simply means the people asset of the organization. So when we are saying that people, that is considered as an asset for the organization, so it means there must be a management, there must be a system that control, that manage clear this asset. So therefore we need a unique type of management, and such management is known as your human resource management. Simply stated, a management that deals with the human factor of the organization is known as your human resource management. It is one of the management which is only concerned with the people factor of the organization. So now according to the definition, HR management is concerned, is connected, is dealing with the human factor in an organization. Like it means it is same like management. Like when management do, or for example management does planning for the overall organization, same human resource management also perform the planning function of the management, but its planning is only concerned toward the human factor of the organization. Like for example, when management do or does organizing function, same HRM also clear perform the organizing function, but this organizing function is only concerned with the human factor of the organization. So therefore we can say that it is one of the pure management which is totally concerned to the human, to the people factor of the organization. So such management is known as your human resource management. Now HRM is responsible for various activities. Simply we can say that it is responsible for getting competent people. It simply means getting competent people simply means that how to bring the people to the organization. Or in other words, we can say how to hire the people to the organization. So move with the staffing way. So management HR is responsible that how to bring or how to hire the people to the organization. Second, it is also responsible for the training purpose. It means that organization HRM responsibility doesn't mean that organization HR will only hire the people. Once they hire the people, now to train the people, to put them into the learning process, to provide clear or to enhance their skills and abilities. So HR is also responsible. So it simply means that training, they are also responsible for the training purpose as well. Then we have getting them to perform at high effort levels. It simply means that now check out their performances. If they are performing well, is it? So compensate them. If they're not performing well, so then take the corrective action. So here simply means that hire the people, train the people, and then evaluate their performance. So to check out, to evaluate the performance of the individual by the appraisals, so it is also the responsibility of your human resource management. And then we have providing mechanism processes to ensure that these employees maintain their productive affiliation with the organization. Simply mean the concept of motivation and commitment. So we can say that human resource management, that it is responsible to bring the people to the organization, not only bring the people to the organization, to train them as well. Upon the completion of the training, so then the human resource management is responsible to check clear the performances clear of the individual, and upon performances then now keep clear promises to motivate the employees through various compensation plans. So that clear is simply known as your human resource management. Now why human resource management is important, or simply we can say that what is the main objective or importance of human resource management? What is the value worth of human resource management? The main objective of human resource management is the achievement of organizational objectives or goals. If you notice, look at here, when I'm talking about organization, so without people, organization is what? Organization is nothing. Organization is zero. Like for example, if I drawn out all the people from the organization, so organization is just clear what? That is basically a structure of walls, nothing else. So it means when we say that organization want to achieve the goal, so it doesn't mean that really organization want to achieve the goal. It simply means that people will achieve the goal for the organization. So simply from this statement we can definitely dig it out that people is basically the main asset, clear, with the help of which the people or the organization will achieve the goal. Now it means to align the people to get the organization goal. So therefore human resource management is important. Or in a very simple statement I can say that human resource is one of the management which basically train the people, which basically make effective the people that how to achieve the goal clear for the organization. So without human resources, organization clear is unable to achieve its desired goals. So it simply says it enable each employee. It enable mean that human resource management, it makes clear each employee to make his own best contribution to the success of the organization. Human resource management is responsible to make every employee, that each employee or every employee contribute clear its best clear completion toward the attainment of the organizational goal or success. So therefore the human resource management is important. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. I'm not going into detail because here I'm just going to give you an idea that why human resource management is important, because inshallah later on we will discuss the various different functions of human resource management, because this course is the management course. Is it? This is not the human resource management only. I'm going to explain a single aspect of the human resource management here. Why it is important? Because it is dealing with the conflict of the employee, with the reward system of the employee, to improve organizational performances by performance work practices, like for example increasing the productivity, the performance of the individual. What is conflict? What is important? Because human resource management is dealing clear is concerned with the conflict. What is conflict? Conflict, basically conflict mean a feud, लड़ाई झगड़ा चिवरते वही, लेकिन here doesn't mean clear a fight. It simply means when two parties, they are not agreed upon on a single point. So it means that is a state of conflict. So now when Mr. A and Mr. B, they are not agreed upon clear on a single, for example, point, so it means that there is a conflict between Mr. A and Mr. B. Now how to resolve the conflict, that is basically the main activity of your main function of your human resource management. There are so many different techniques, is it? Like for example, negotiations, bargains, CBAs, collective bargaining agents, is it? There are so many methods to resolve the conflict. But therefore, human resource management is important because it is valuable, because it resolves the conflict clear among the people within inside the organization. Second, human resource management has a value because clear that is concerned with the reward system. What is reward system? Reward simply means when any of the individual is performing well. So on the behalf of his or her performance, organization will definitely compensate clear that individual. A reason is because organization want to motivate the people. That compensation is basically a reward system. Like for example, employee of the month. Once the employee is declared as an employee of the month, so organization is going to give a bonus, for example, or let's suppose clear any of the thing, a mobile clear as a gift. So it means that organization is compensating him. So that system clear where the performances are to be checked out, and upon clear the performances, organization is compensating them clear to keep them motivated. So such system is known as reward system, and human resource management is important to establish this reward system or pay structure inside the organization. Therefore, human resource management is important. Then we have to improve organizational performances by providing performance work practices. It means that HR is responsible to create some performance work practices which will increase the productivity of the employees. Here I would like to mention that what are those best performance work practices. I have mentioned here, it will make your idea inshallah clear that what are those performance practices. Examples of high performance work practices. Look at here. Number one, that is the self-managed teams. Simply mean teams, then people they are work clear in the form of groups or teams. Centralized decision making processes, training programs that will enhance the skills, abilities and knowledge of the individual. Flexible job assignments, is it? Flexible job assignment simply means that assign the jobs to the individual, assign some special tasks to the individual, or some assignments that clear is flexible, that can, for example, the intentions clear of the learning of the individual with such flexible job assignment. Flexible means that there is the leverage clear to the individual, that individual can for example help, or let's suppose that individual can make sure to achieve those assignments clear with learning processes. And open communication. Is it? Communication means simply the transformation of information from one point to another point. So when it is clear open, so it simply means that is an open communication system. Performance based compensation. Earlier I told you that when compensation is done clear to measure the performance of the individual, so such is known as performance based compensation. And then we have the staffing function. Staffing function simply means that hiring the people to the organization, but according to the requirement needs of the organization, or simply the person clear hire the best person to the organization or best fit to the organization. Like for example, I want to hire a person clear, person A. This person has the potential to fulfill all the requirements clear needed by the organization clear. So it simply means that human resource management has done the staffing function, and this function clear is on the talent base. So therefore it simply says that staffing based on person, job and person organizational fit. It means that hire such a person which will be able clear to for the job, or who will fulfill all the requirements of the job, as well as clear the person best fit to the organization. So simply we can say that human resource management is important just because of clear the conflict resolution, just because of clear the reward system, and just because of the performance work practices like self-managed team, decentralization, trainings, open communications, compensations and staffing functions. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. Human resource process. How the HRM works, how this department works. I have just clear jotted down here to make your idea clear that how human resource management clear process work, or how this department work out. Look at here, this department starts from ensuring that competent employees are identified and selected. It means that human resource management clear basically it starts that how talented employees are to be identified, dig it out, and then how we make clear a mechanism to select clear such kind of competent employees to the organization. Then providing employees with up to date knowledge. It simply means once the people are identified and then they are selected, hired by the organization. Now the next phase of the human resource management process is that they have to put those employees into the learning process to enhance their knowledge and skills regarding to their jobs. After that, ensuring that the organizational retains competent and high performing employees. The next thing is that once the people are properly selected, they are hired, they are properly trained, now their performances are to be checked, that either they are performing clear well or not. If they are performing well, so now organization clear next responsibility, the HR next responsibility to retain the people. Retain the people, it means that stay the people for the long time period, or maintain the people inside the organization for the long time period. For this purpose, organization or HR clear must make some retaining strategies, like for example compensation program, is it communication programs, the organization involvement programs. All these are the different programs clear with the help of which organization will or HR will retain the people for the long time period. So basically that is clear the HRM process. That HRM process starts from the identification of the people, and then upon identification make a mechanism that how to bring these people to the organization, and this phase is simply known as the selection phase. Once the selection phase is completed, the human resource clear process move to the next phase, that where they put all the employees under the training process, that where with the intentions to enhance clear the skills and knowledge abilities of the individual relevant to the job. Once the training session is completed, the HR process move to the next session, that where the organization, the HR clear management, they basically check out the individual performances. The individual they are performing well, so organization has to compensate them. They have to make clear, they have to make some retaining strategies, that how they can keep employees clear for the long time period in the organization. The whole which starts from the identification and ends clear at the retaining strategy and feedback. So this is simply known as the human resource management processes, or simply we can say that human resource management process does work. Now our main topic, that is functions of human resource management. What does it mean, functions of human resource management? Simply stated, as I told you, that human resource management, it is a management, it is a department. This department definitely performs some activities within inside the organization. Now we are going to discuss that what are the different activities performed clear by the human resource management inside the organization. Dear students, as I told you earlier, that this is not the class of human resource management, this is not the subject of human resource management. Here inshallah I will explain a few of the functions of human resource management just to make your idea clear. This lecture is only the overview about the function of the human resource management. Most of the things clear are not clear in the detail, because inshallah later on we will discuss all those concepts in detail in human resource management course. Here I'm just going to give you clear a roadmap about the functions of the human resource management. Now what are the different various functions performed by the human resource management? Let me give you an overview. If you notice on the diagram, the HRM starts from the human resource planning. It is the first initial activity done by the HR management inside the organization. Yeah, in other words, we can say that HR management starts clear basically the first activity under the HR, that is human resource planning. Then it moves toward the recruitment. Upon completion of the recruitment, it moves toward the selection. Here some processes are to be done, some identifications are to be done. then it will be find out that either we should recruit the people or either we should decruit the people. Don't worry, I'll explain clear inshallah all the terms in detail, but here just I'm going to make the idea clear to you that what are the basic functions performed by the human resource management. The basic function, that is human resource planning, recruitment, selection, decruitment, orientation, training, performance management, compensation and benefits, and career development. These are the major functions performed by the organization. But how HR department basically work? It gets start from the human resource planning. In human resource planning, they will identify that what should we do? We should move toward the recruitment or we should do toward the recruitment. Should we start recruitment process or should we start decruitment process? Up under the recruitment process, then they move toward the selection process. If let's suppose the organization identified, the HR identified that under the human resource planning we need recruitment, so then they will move toward the recruitment. And after recruitment, the next step they have to be taken, that is the selection process. Selection simply means identify and select competent employees. It simply means select the best employee to the organization. So once the selection process is done, so the next thing clear, then the HR move toward the orientation process, introduction process. Upon orientation, the next movement of the organization, that is the training, that how to train the people, enhance the skill of the people. Once training is completed, so the next concern, that is to check the performance of the individual, which is known as performance management function of the human resource management. Now upon completion of the performance management system, next organization move toward the compensation and benefit system. And after that we have the career development. All these are different functions performed by the human resource management inside the organization. Now let's start clear each function of human resource management into detail. Again, I'm going to tell you that here, because this is not the human resource management class, it is basically the management class, I would like to just give you a quick review about the functions of human resource management. But inshallah, a more detail I would like to give you in human resource management, and here I would like to give you an overview about the functions of the human resource management. Students, now let's start from the first function, that is human resource planning. As I told you, that human resource planning, sometimes it is known as employment planning. Why it is known as human resource planning or why it is known as employment planning? It simply says that it is one of the initial process that where the HR department do or does planning about the human resources. They identify that how many people they have. They basically do the current assessment clear of their current assets of human resources. In the very simple words, that is a planning process about the human resources, about the people of the organization, where the HR department find out that how many current employees they have, how many, for example, potential employees they required for the future. Is it? So that process, that where they identify that, for example, how many people they have and how many people they required clear for the organization in future. So that planning process is simply known as your employment process, or it is known as your human resource planning. What it says, the process by which managers ensure that they have the right number and kinds of people in the right places. It means that it is one of the activity performed by the HR department which give an idea to the HR department that how many people they have. Do the people clear are in the right number? Right number mean whatever the quantity I need, the organization required. So let's suppose I need 5 people. So now I have to study that do the organization, for example, having the 5 employees inside the organization, inside the department. So therefore it simply says that it will give an idea to the HR that either the right number and right kind of people, valid people, are inside clear the organization on the right places or not. and at the right times, who are capable of effectively and efficiently performing their tasks. As I told you, that HRP, that is a planning process about the human resources, that where the HR department check out that how many people they have and how many people they require in the future. So such planning process about the employees or about the people is known as your human resource planning. Basically, human resource planning employment process, it is a step-by-step process. How it basically starts, let's start. Helping avoid sudden talent shortages and surplus. Under the HR planning, the human resource management department basically study the employee shortages and employee surplus. What is talent shortage or employee shortage? Employee shortage, as I told you, for example, is the lack of employee or employees in the organization. मतलब आया organization के चलते employee कम होने दी. Like for example, organization required 200 people, is it? Or organization needed 200 people, and currently organization has, for example, 150 people. It means that 50 more talent employees required by the organization. So it means organization has a talent shortages. First, under the HRP, the HR management clear, they basically dig out the shortage situation of the organization, that either organization is facing the shortage, employee shortage or not. And they also have to study, clear, analyze the surplus, employee talent surplus. Surplus mean extra. They dig out that either organization is burdenized or not. Like for example, organization required or needed 200 employees, and organization has 300 employees. It means 100 employees, clear, these are extra, that is considered a burden on the organization. So in this case, when organization is feeling talent shortages, employee shortages, so organization move to hire the people. And when organization is facing, HR is facing, let's suppose, the surplus of employees, so then organization do the recruitment or downsizing on the organization. How basically the HR planning works, the कार संग गई. That is number one, assessing current human resources. First, the human resources, for example, the current human resources accessing की. Simple stated, that how many, for example, analyze, clear, how many individuals are working inside the organization. You have simply stated that to dig out that how many employees are currently working in the organization. That is simply known as assessing current human resources. Then assessing future need for the human resources. As I told you, that is a process that where organization check out that how many employees are currently available in the organization with a specified skill, and how many employees are required by the organization for the upcoming future. So when organizations study their current human resources, this study analysis is known as assessing current human resources. And when organization want to check out that how many people we require for the future, is it? So that is simply known as assessing future needs of human resources. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. When we are talking about the current employees assessment, so for such purpose, the HRM department under the employment planning process, they make the inventory. You know what is inventory? Inventory is simply a record system. Same is the case when the HR department, is it? They assess the current employees, so they make clear the current employees inventory. They make the record of their current employees, is it? A review of the current makeup of the organization's current resources status. Simply means that is a review that how to maintain the record of the current, for example, employees. There are two types of inventories. One is known as your management inventory and another is known as your skill inventory. What a management inventory come there, that is inventory, it is a record clear that is totally concerned for the higher level workers, your white collar employees. And when we are talking about the skill inventory, so in skill inventory simply means that it is the inventory record clear of your blue collar employees inside the organization. This record contains all the status of the current employees, like for example about their education, about their training, about their specialty, for example about their specific skills, time, tenure, is it? About their promotion level. So your file will जोड़ शी सही शो फाइलों की दे data चिकम दे आगा record शी. That is simply known as your current assessment. Under the current assessment, we have the job analysis process. What is job analysis? If you focus on the word job analysis, it means analysis simply means study. Study the job. Simply study the job. What is happening in the job, or a process that explore what is happening within a job, is simply known as job analysis. Or in other words, simply we can say job analysis is a technique that explore that what are the accountabilities and what are the requirements or responsibilities needed within a job to perform a job. Such process is known as job analysis. By the word you can make a sense that job analysis simply means that analyze a job. And when we say analyze a job, it simply means that we are exploring a job. So now it simply says an assessment that defines a job and the behaviors necessary to perform the job. Assessment simply means a study. So job analysis is a study which basically explore, which define a job, that what is happening in a job. And it basically define that what are the basic behaviors, actions, necessities which are necessary to perform the job. Requires conducting interviews, engage in direct observation, and collecting the self-report of employees and their manager. How job analysis basically conducted? How job analysis carried out by the managers. For job analysis, different methods are to be used. It can be conducted through the interview process. It can be a face-to-face interview. It can be a group interview. It can be a panel interview. Variety of interviews. It can be a direct observation. It can be, for example, self-report system. Self-report system means diary system, logo system. Like for example, let's suppose a diary is given to the employee, and now employees are asked that whatever the action you are performing per day, you have to note it down, all the actions within that diary. That is known as self-reporting. Like for example, I will give you a diary and then I will say to you that whatever the behaviors or whatever the responsibilities you are performing within a job, so write down everyday responsibility activities done by you within that diary. So it means that you are reporting with a self-reporting method. So simply stated that there are different methods performed for the job analysis purpose. Now, what is the outcome of job analysis? The outcome of the job analysis is job description and job specification. If you notice a written statement that describe a job. What is job description? If you focus on the word, a statement, a piece of paper that explain, that define the job. That describes a job. Like for example, let's suppose if I am saying what is happening within a job, or what are the necessities within a job, or what an individual will perform within a job, or simply stated, job description explain the nature of the job. Like for example, when I'm saying to you that I have a job, and the job designation is HR assistant. Now the job designation is HR assistant. The scale is, for example, 14, 17. The salary is $800. Working hours 8 to 9 working hours. For example, different compensations, for example, and reporting will be to HR head. What does it mean? It means that is a statement which is explaining about the job, or that is a statement which is explaining all the contents of a job. Such is known as your job description. Like job description, we have job specification. By the name it is clear, job specification. A written statement of the minimum qualification that a person must possess to perform a given job successfully. It means job description, this is totally about the job, and job specification, it is totally the description about the individual who will fulfill the job. Like for example, as I told you, I have a job and the job designation is HR assistant. Now I have to hire a person to fulfill this job. this vacant position in the organization. So that person who will fulfill this HR position in the organization, when I'm explaining all those minimum criteria, qualifications that the person possesses to perform clear within that job, that statement piece of information is known as your job specification. So therefore it simply says a written statement of the minimum criteria, minimum qualification. Like for example, as I told you, the designation is HR assistant. Now I need a person, is it, that whose qualification is MBA or BBA HR. He must have an experience of clear 3 to 5 years, is it? Or we can say, for example, the person should possess clear 3 to 5 year experience. या देना अलावा वेल इशू the person required the good communication skill, is it, the good negotiation skill, the good bargaining skill, for example. देना अलावा the person clear having a good clear grooming personality. So what does it mean? All these are the minimum qualifications that required clear or that possessed by the individual person who will apply for the job, is it, that who will perform within that job. So such statement which explain all the specification, all the minimum qualification about the job holder is known as your job specification, and all the statement which explain, describe the nature of the job is known as your job description. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear.